welcome to Marble Rundown, your source for the most important Marble news of the week that you need to know. Now here's your hosts, Bob Ballmer and Dan Orboole.
Hey everyone, you're watching Marble Rundown.
We're excited to have you. There's a great show for you today.
News, interviews, and a lot more.
Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe so you don't miss a single episode, and maybe become a patron if you want to. I don't know, not your dad.
Let's get this show on the road. So it's time for everyone's favorite segment, You Blew It. And Dan, you're slipping. You said the best the Balls of Chaos did in their 6-event streak was 14th, but actually it was 13th. You blew it, Dan.
Oh yeah? Well, you said that the Minty Maniacs hashtag was hashtag Minty Fresh instead of their actual hashtag Mint Condition. You blew it, Bob.
That's nothing. You said that the auto-qualified racers in Marble Rally were teams. They're obviously individual competitors. You blew it, Dan.
I know that. It's one... Look, you said no one could possibly do worse than Mellow Yellow with the balance beam. It was just last year that the Jungle Jumpers did worse. You blew it, Bob.
Well, you said there were only 3 sand rally courses last year. There were 4. How do you screw something like that up? You blew it, Dan.
I guess we've both got some work to do.
Yeah, guess so. So a big new reveal on the JMR channel this week. We got a speculative schedule for the next few months of marble sports.
Yes, exciting stuff. You know we're all looking forward to marble sports picking back up, finally. And we've got a number of big events coming soon. It definitely looks like after a quick breather, the team is building up to another exciting stream of marble athletics.
So up first, it looks like we're going to be seeing the 2020 Marble Rally premiere. We talked a lot about it last week, and it's good to see that they've got some kind of concrete time frame for the event.
Definitely. We know with something that takes place outdoors, like the Marble Rally, weather can often play a big factor in getting the events run. And we've been seeing reports of dry weather adding a bit of a delay to proceedings.
Yeah, we were seeing from the official Twitter feed a lot of complications, and the athletes really weren't happy with the conditions, a view that the officials clearly shared. It was really good to hear that they were able to stage at least 2 sand events this week, plus an additional Patreon-only race.
In the news releases, we saw a tease of a bunch of never-before-seen competitors. Possibly some new athletes making their debut in the Patreon race?
Well, there's some really interesting athletes in there. Is that possibly a relative of red number 3, purple number 7?
And the orange smiley fellow. Possible joining of forces between the O-Rangers and Cool Moody?
Definitely a lot of questions. You know, maybe we'll find out later in our exclusive interview with JMRC member Fouc.
Oh, I hope so. But the JMRC is pretty careful about guarding their secrets.
Well, if anyone can get him to slip up, it's definitely you.
Thanks. So, in the upcoming event list, we can also see that Marbula E is making its return soon.
Excited for that one. You know, the music on that series alone is enough to get me all pumped up.
And then we've got this new mysterious thing, a 24-minute Le Marble race.
24 minutes? That's a long time to keep rolling.
No kidding! Okay, remind me, do we all know who's competing in that?
Well, actually, it's all really a mystery at this point. Some people think we might see all 28 Marble League teams represented, which would be great. You know, how would that be for giving one of those showdown teams a chance to prove their mettle?
Hey, personally, I think the Turtle Sliders are better than the results have shown. Would love for them to get another shot to prove themselves.
You're sure that has nothing to do with their team color, Dan?
Haha, not one bit. Lastly, we've got confirmation that Marbula 1 will be making its return.
Well, we all knew it would be coming, but it's great to hear it'll be here soon. The Savage Speeders are going to have a target on their back, though. That's for sure.
Oh, everyone's going to be gunning for them. Marbula 1 win, Marble League win. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a lot of teams making efforts to block them in every single race.
So that brings us to our quick commercial break. Coming up next, we'll have an exclusive interview with JMRC member Fouc, one of the masterminds behind the 2020 Marble League.
You definitely don't want to miss it.
See you after the break.
Ooh, maybe go get some popcorn.
Welcome back. Told you it wouldn't be that long.
So, earlier this week, I had a chance to sit down with Fouc, a prominent member of the community and a member of the JMRC. Let's have a listen. So, we've got a special guest on the show today. Members of the JMR Discord server probably know him well. He's the Analyst and Project Coordinator for the JMRC. It's Fouc. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, hello. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. So this season must have felt really different to put together with the spotlight coming from the big name sponsorship from HBO. Did it feel any different to the team making it?
The answer may surprise you. I think the answer is no.
Oh.
I think even despite the wide exposure, what makes a Marble League really successful, and I think this was a really successful season, is that we're all coordinated on the team and we follow a good workflow, which involves different people working on different things, ensuring the events are fun and entertaining. And I'm really proud of the collaborative process. I don't think the spotlight made that any different or worse. I think already the entire JMR team with contributions from JMRC, these contributions help make sure the events are fair and exciting. And even if there was a bit more pressure from the fan base on making sure everything is right, I think we got it pretty right in the end. So I'm proud of that.
So you are the analyst and the project coordinator for the JMRC. So what does that entail on your end? What's your role? What's your day-to-day like?
You're not the first person to ask that question. I think my role is like deliberately unclear because I think I do a mix of many things. I think the general idea is that my role on the committee is to ensure that events are creative, events are fair, doing some checking of test runs to see that everything works out the way it does. And, in general, and I also, after each event, I look at feedback, look at people's fan reactions and so forth about the more successful moment or the most exciting moments. And so,
right.
I guess my role in committee is I'm always thinking a few steps in advance, right? So that's just, I think it's a very open-ended role I play on the committee, but I enjoy it.
So were you happy with how the whole series turned out? Anything you would have liked to have seen differently in the end with hindsight?
Yeah, overall, I thought that there was a lot of work put into it. This was a 2-month event, 16 events. It took a lot of planning, a lot of back and forths between the JMR, the organizers at the Andromedome, all of us. And I am pretty happy with it. I'm happy in the end that it was all released on a very tight schedule, that the events were creative, and it was not like, we had any last minute snafus with any of the course construction, so to speak. Right. So in overall, I'm generally very, very positive about it. The only thing that I wish I would come out differently was, there were certainly some events like Black Hole Funnel, like Half Pipe. Some people complain about Collision as well. I think in general there was a tone of there were definitely some events where it was harder to understand the action on the screen.
Right.
And it's just shout out to you guys on Marble Rundown who are breaking down these more complex events bit by bit. I always wish that the videos themselves, the live commentary there, we could coordinate it better and make it easier to understand the action on the screen. So that's certainly something to think about in the future.
So season is done. So are there any ideas, both coming from the fans and maybe some internally, that have been floated for next year's Marble League that you can let us in on?
Yeah, I gotta say no comment on this one. The only thing I will say is that the fans definitely have some creative ideas out there. So in the broader JMR community, there's a subreddit. I always like checking the subreddit where some of the more interesting ideas are put out. Again, no comment on whether or not those events are being considered, but I'm just saying that if you just want to see the creativity and you want to feel inspired by it, check out what the fans have been proposing in terms of events where, maybe I saw there was a tug of war event that got some good feedback on the subreddit at least. So seeing that kind of stuff give you an idea of the level of creativity, the bar at which it's being set for the introduction of new events. And certainly I think whatever events they're thought of are going to be as creative as what the fans are proposing.
Turning away from the Marble League, obviously a lot of people are looking at what's up next. We got the little preview in the banner on the Ellie's Marble Runs channel saying we got the Marble Rally coming up this month, which we're all very excited about. We've got another Marbula E event coming up. We've got Marbula 1 Season 2, but then there was also this interesting little 24 minutes of Le Marble Race, which is a mysterious little project. We know that Yelly's been wanting to do something like a long-form race for a while. You have any comments or things you can say about what's been going into that?
Not much because it's in the planning stages as well. But the context for that is exactly right. Ever since the first Marbula 1 race got released, you had people in the comments, the fans in the comments saying, "Oh, we want an endurance race. We want 24 hours of Le Mans type race." And then some people started going 24 minutes of Le Marble. It's about giving back to the fans. It's about engaging with the fans.
All right, and last thing, what is your team? Do you have a team you support? Are you allowed to have your own team?
I mean, look. I think part of it is that when you are doing the job that I do, which is to ensure fairness, to ensure that the events are designed in an exciting way, it kind of makes you less like a hardcore fan of any team.
Right.
Because you have to be impartial, right? But at the end of the day, like I joined the community and I was a Raspberry Racers fan, so that's always going to be within me, I don't like that they're not performing so well in this 2020 season, but that's the way it is. And, Limers, one day the Racers and the Limers will meet again, and most likely we'll beat them. So, yeah, stay tuned for that.
We will.
Okay.
Fouc, thanks again so much for being on the show. It was great to have you.
Yeah, definitely. Enjoyed talking on here. Keep up the great work, guys.
So if you're interested in seeing our entire interview with Fouc, keep an eye on the channel, and we'll have that up for you later this week.
Man, I'm jealous. Why do you always need to book the cool interviews during my afternoon siestas?
Hey, the guy's got a busy schedule.
And I've got a lot of napping to do. It's all about priorities.
Okay, Bob.
From the fans.
So last week we asked you what you thought about Red Number 3's surgery, and you guys definitely had a lot to say about it.
That's right, Bob. We had a lot of different opinions about his decision to undergo surgery, with a lot of fans voicing their disappointment that all the pressure and judgment got to him. Ezra brought this up, saying that marbles should not be judged by their material, that those who pressured him into surgery should be ashamed, and that the surgery would severely hurt his performance.
Well, Sulfuratus seemed to have similar thoughts on the situation, expressing their fear that Red Number 3 would never return to the top.
But there were also some folks who thought differently. Butterlord has high hopes that Red Number 3 will be back to his old self after a few races.
And of course, there were some detractors. Red Number 3 has never been without his critics. Hello Houseplant thinks he's lucky to not have his title revoked, and is looking forward to seeing what a race on a level playing field will look like now.
But Tom pretty much sums up what we're all thinking. We're just excited to finally put this question to rest once and for all, one way or the other.
And thanks everyone so much for your answers. It's a really divisive subject, and we're happy that you all managed to keep it civil down there.
Want to have your comments featured next week? Then you've got to answer today's question of the day. What do you think we'll see in the 24-minute Le Marble race? What surprises are in store with that new special? We'll feature the best of your predictions on next week's show. And don't forget, tag your comment with hashtag QOTD.
And with that, we've come to the end once again.
How many things do you think we blew this episode?
I mean, it can't be a lot, right? We had an interview, we looked ahead to new events. Not a lot there to fault.
Hey, I have faith in our fans to tear us apart.
Very true. Anyway, thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next week. It's Marble Rundown on TMR.
So long, everyone.